going on, Jerome's? Minnesota Fighting Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell is at the NFL League meetings down in scenic Orlando, Florida. It's the NFC coach's turn for the coach's breakfast interviews over OJ, some coffee, maybe a Danish or two. Who knows? Good times. But Kevin O'Connell looking good in the hood. That's right, man. Also, citing from old friend, cameo by Chris Thomason. Just walked over and was like, hey, you're not Zimmer. But O'Connell fed the local media Jackals. This is what he said this morning. Alec Lucy, Athletic. Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell met with media members this morning in Orlando. Tons of interesting nuggets. Said Justin Jefferson was shocked, excitedly, that Minnesota had a chance to snag Aaron Jones. That's the thing, too, where this is not your normal, hey, veteran signing with a rival situation. Packers fans were pissed. He's one of the best team leaders that squad has had, and he has evidence by his 5 straight 100-yard games to close out the 2023 season. Aaron Jones still has a lot of game left in him, and JJ recognizes game, and now he's really going to help fortify the Vikings running game. Kevin O'Connell also said they were aggressive in the defensive tackle market, but fortified front with JG, Jonathan Grenard, as well as Andrew Van Ginkel. Now, aggressive on the D tackle market probably means that the Vikings made a play for Christian Wilkins, who signed with the Raiders for $11 bajillion. Is what it is. But Wilkins with the Dolphins was Brian Flores' first draft pick, so it makes sense that the Vikings would have interest there. But I mean, the Vikings, in a way, they've been very smart financially this offseason, not bringing back Kirk Cousins, as well as taking it on the chin with some of the void year dead cap hits when they can afford it, and also bringing in some really solid free agents, as well as smartly using void years for when the Vikings have $100+ million in cap space in 2025. And then they got room to re-sign JJ. Good times. And also, bringing in guys like Aaron Jones, who JJ is going to be excited about, certainly doesn't hurt. Next, Kevin Seifert, ESPN, who's not Carl Gerbschmidt. Vikings were thrilled to get safety Harrison Smith back for another season, but they are realistic about what they can put his 35-year-old body through. Kevin O'Connell today, quote, "We are not going to be able to play him as much as we did." Smith played a career-high 1,113 snaps in 2023. Now, the Viking safety room is very deep with Cam Beasley, Josh Metellus, maybe Lewis Cine? I don't know. Theo Jackson, as well as Kerryon, my Jayward son, in there as well. And I think that they can be smart in managing his minutes and managing his snaps. And with Flores, I mean, last year they had to play the 3 safety look out of necessity, right? And now with another full off season, and there's a lot of personnel turnover change, and Brian Flores having a much larger hand in personnel, it would make sense where Smith is used more judiciously, and keeping a little bit of wear and tear off of his body, so he's fresher later in games as well as later on in the season. Also, another veteran. Vikings also hope that add depth will help them manage defensive tackle Harrison Phillips playing time as well. Per Kevin O'Connell, Phillips played a career high 839 snaps last season, and that is smart, as Harrison Phillips is 28, going to be 29, and even though he led the league in terms of defensive interiors in number of tackles last season, saving a little bit of wear or tear off of Harrison, both Harrisons would be very smart, and hopefully that's what the Vikings are going to do on defense this year, because I mean, last year the defense sort of held together by duct tape and baling wire, but hopefully some added young pieces, as well as the Vikings will be a lot deeper on the defensive side of the ball this season. Other topics Kevin O'Connell touched on. So Gerard Mayo and the Patriots, Gerard getting his shot to be the guy that replaces Belichick as head coach of the Patriots. And also Mayo's been very open, very vocal about talking about potentially trading down from 3. The Vikings obviously would be an interested party to move up to the number 3 selection. And Kevin O'Connell talked about how he and Gerard Mayo were both draft picks in the 2028 nailed it. 2008, a draft class for the Patriots. Mayo was a first-round pick out of Tennessee, Rocket Top. Kevin O'Connell was that third-round dart throw of a quarterback coming out of San Diego State University. He was supposed to be a unicorn. Big-time arm, 6'5", 220, movie star, good looks. I mean, again, look at that jawline. It's not a Josh McCown jawline, but it's certainly there. It's like Henry Cavill out there, man. But they talked about them bonding as rookies, and trying to pay for the rookie dinner, which is really funny. But hyped up Mayo, also hyped up Matthew Slater as a future head coach, which I could honestly see. The greatest special teams player of all time. And then we talked about Danielle Hunter going to the Texans and how D'Amico Ryan's going to get themselves a hell of a player, a hell of a leader. But then also a lot of Texans players coming up here. You look at Grenard, you look at Kamu, you look at Shaq Griffin coming in as well, and also Cashman outside. How about that? So I mean, the Vikings getting a lot of great young pieces that were, part of that Texans defense over the last couple of seasons, and especially last year when D'Amico came in and really helped them rise up. Also, Sam Darnold. So O'Connell's been really, you could tell O'Connell's really in on Sam Darnold. Where O'Connell would have liked to have Kirk Cousins back, but he sees the potential in Sam Darnold. And he was talking about, people are really quick to write him off because he went through the gong show and he was a backup last year and whatever in Carolina, whatever with the Jets. But he's gone through a lot of offenses. He's gone through a lot of offensive coordinators, and he hasn't necessarily had all the talent in the world around him, but he's a great spot here with the Vikings, and O'Connell specifically listed off the great receivers, the running game with Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler, as well as working with McCown and Wes and Uditsky. So I think that Sam Darnold does have a chance, and the Vikings are certainly going to be aggressive, still going after their quarterback, and the Vikings. Darnold. Again, Darnold was the number 3 overall pick for a reason, man. So we'll find out. Again, quarterbacks bust all the time, but I feel like Darnold hasn't been dealt in quite yet. So let's see what he can do with a premium hand here with the Vikings. And in terms of said future franchise quarterback, whether it's May, whether it's Daniels, whether it's McCarthy, whether it's whatever, he was on with Paul Allen 9 to noon with K-Fan talking about a couple of the prospects. Vikes fan page put these together. O'Connell talked about McCarthy, quote, JJ has some really strong tape. He has the makeup of winning a national championship. I believe he has 3 losses since high school. He's a winner, end quote. All he does is win no matter what. It's funny where the goalposts just shift, right? So Kirk Cousins put up big-time stats but didn't win the big game. JJ McCarthy wins the big game, didn't put up big-time stats. Boo, boo. But McCarthy, you're betting on the traits, you're betting on the ceiling. Also, I think what specifically O'Connell wants is a quarterback who can operate his offense. Now, could you say that's like Brock Purdy and Shanahan? Sure, to a degree, but I think that given McCarthy's tools, given his age, I think that he has a much higher ceiling than Brock Purdy. So I could see why teams are interested in McCarthy, where Daniels a little bit older of a prospect, as well as you look at Drake May. Yes, he is the same age as McCarthy, but a little bit of a gunslinger mentality there. Can he operate consistently inside of the framework of an offense and not give the ball away, like he did last year? Also, same concerns with Caleb Williams too, by the way. Next, speaking of Daniels. Kevin McConnell talking about Jaden Daniels, quote, when you dive into his tape, he is a guy that wins. When he takes off, there's no angle that is safe for the defender because of his speed. He's an exciting prospect. And the whole thing with Daniels, too, is that you worry because you don't see any 30-year-old dual-threat quarterbacks. And with Daniels being a little bit older of a prospect coming in, does that shorten the window of his peak effectiveness in the league? And with Daniels, he does have a good arm. He is accurate in spots. You do worry about some of the fundamentals as well as underneath accuracy, but that added dimension of him taking off and running, it's certainly exciting. But also, if the Vikings draft Jaden Daniels, they got to go all in on catering the offense to him. Jaden Daniels is not going to be operating the Kirk Cousins offense like a Drake May or a JJ McCarthy would. You would have to cater to specifically what he does well. You have to utilize his legs, and I would like to see. It would be interesting to see if it happened, because when Josh Dobbs came in, O'Connell. It's tough to completely overturn an offense in the middle of the season, but O'Connell didn't have a suite of plays in his back pocket that would favor a mobile quarterback. So that's something to keep in mind as we move forward in the process. But either way, it's good to see O'Connell looking very comfortable out there, looking very confident. By the way, you would think that, hey. The Vikings lost Kirk Cousins, so they must be downtrodden. No, you look at Kevin O'Connell, you look at Mark Wilf, they're all smiles. I feel like they know that something is percolating underneath the surface. And also, I mean, O'Connell's connection with Gerard Mayo, maybe that will push this deal over the goal line. Announce the trade, you cowards. Let's go get it. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Kevin O'Connell feeds the local media jackals at the NFL league meetings. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.